So this is day 8 of me trying to post every single day. I'm gonna head out to the gym soon, so I'm gonna try to make this video pretty quick. Today I'm gonna talk about a couple things, something that just happened today. So I made a video, I forgot if it was yesterday or the other day, about like the importance of follow-ups, and I shared an example of one of my clients that I followed up with, and just today we signed a new contract, and the invoice was just paid today. It was for $1,500 a month, so I'm just gonna show that. So yeah, this is the same client. About a week ago, I followed up with the client saying, "Hey, just wanted to send you a quick follow-up message." Literally word for word, exactly what I said. Just sent the quick follow-up. She replied saying that she would like to get started on a trial run, just to kind of see the work that I can do. And then 2 days ago, I sent her the video. She asked a question about how like revisions were done. I told her unlimited revisions, not a problem. And then she said, "Let's move forward." Literally 2 hours ago, so 11 a.m. And she asked me to send the invoice for the month. And I sent her an invoice for 1,500, and just now, or a couple minutes ago, she paid the invoice. So, new client that I signed today, so big win. Just because I followed up on a previous message. So yeah, this goes back into the outlining the importance of, you know, a follow-up message, just a simple message saying, "Hey, here's a quick reminder of our call." Again, you don't want to be too bothersome, or you don't want to bother the client too much. Like, put yourself in their shoes. Just a simple reminder. These people are typically busy people. So sometimes there are instances where they, I guess, forget to reply back to you. So you got to be the one to send the follow up. But yeah, it can't hurt. You send the message, and worst case scenario, they don't respond, or they say they found someone else or whatever. But best case scenario, you just got yourself a new client. So that's a win that I wanted to share today. Feeling pretty good. So something else that I also want to share, um, especially when you're starting out as a beginner, you want to be able to plan and kind of calculate how much time and how much money you're going to spend on your SMMA business. I think that's something that's very important and often overlooked. People just like jump straight into it without actually having some sort of concrete plan. You need to, even if you're just writing it down on a piece of paper, have a set number of hours that you're willing to spend every single day. Have a set budget or a cost that you're willing to spend every single day or every month or for the business, whatever. But have that number, like at least on a piece of paper somewhere, just so you can kind of stick to it. Because if you just go into this thing blindly, you'll come across costs that you might not have planned for. You'll come across a situation where you need to spend time on something, or something comes up and you didn't plan for it. You didn't expect to spend this much time on it, and then if you don't plan for it, it's a lot easier to quit, I think. So the more you plan for something, the less likely it will be for you to quit. And that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to quit. So today I'm gonna also share, at least for me, how much I spend on my typical business, and how much you can expect to spend if you're doing a business model at least similar to mine. This doesn't go for all businesses, obviously, but for me, this is how much I spend, and this is how much I think that you need. So I'm gonna just get the time part out the way. Regarding the time, to be honest, it's just as much as you possibly can. That's how much time you want to be spending. You can say like, I'm only gonna spend an hour a day, but your progress is gonna be a lot slower than somebody else spending 5 hours, 10 hours a day. So I know people are busy, but you want to spend as much time, dedicate as much time to this as you possibly can. This is a business that you're trying to run. This is an agency. You need to take it seriously and be willing to spend that time if you want to see actual results. So that's time. Regarding money, I'm gonna kind of give you the things that I use, the softwares that I pay for on a monthly basis, to be honest, the reason why this business model is so great, at least, is because there's not a lot of startup costs. The majority of the softwares that I use and that I pay for on a monthly basis, like when you're starting out, you don't even need it. Like, to be honest, all of the softwares that I use, you technically don't even need. But I'm gonna kind of give it just so I can share how much I spend to run my business. So the first thing I pay for is a contract software. It helps me build the contract. It easily lets me send the contract. The client can just click on the link and they can just sign it. Once they sign it, I get a notification and then I can sign it and then it's done. So it makes things a lot easier. It's called Signwell. You can look it up. But that's number one. But again, you don't even need it. Like, you really don't need this, especially when you're just starting out on Upwork. But the second thing is something for an invoice. It's a separate invoice sender software called Simple Invoices. It lets you just send invoices to your clients, write in all the details, and then you send it, gets paid, and then you get notified. Again, you don't need this. I think if you sign up for a Stripe account, Stripe has like a software built in where you can just send an invoice for free. So if you like, you can use that. For me, Simple Invoices is a lot more organizable. It helps me track like the invoices a lot easier, so I use Stripe. And that is also $10 a month. So the contract Signwell, $10 a month. Simple Invoices, $10 a month. But again, you don't even need this. So this isn't something that I would really worry about as someone who's just starting out, but just wanted to share what I use. The third thing is I pay $6 a month for a business email. So again, you don't need this, but the reason why I use a business email, and there are a lot of other benefits. If you want to know how to create a business email, like literally look it up, how to create a business email. But the reason why I have a business email is simply because it looked to me more professional if I sent a business email than a regular Gmail. So if someone were to send you like thomas@gmail.com, like that's a free normal email. But a business email lets you choose your domain. So instead of thomas@gmail.com, I can have it as Thomas at Thomas's company, or Thomas SMMA, or Thomas's agency.com. So instead of thomas@gmail.com, Thomas at Thomas's agency.com. So I mean, I guess aesthetically it just looks better when you're sending a client your email. So that's the only reason why I did it. But again, you don't need it. Gmail's perfectly fine. I think as long as you don't have one of those like really old middle school, elementary school emails where it's just like a really embarrassing, email it just looks unprofessional, then I would say create a new one. But you can create a free Gmail account and use it for your business. So again, this is something that I use, but you don't need it, and it's $6 a month. So $10 for the contract, $10 for the invoice, $6 for the professional email. And then I also pay a monthly fee for a scheduling tool. So I run a social media managing agency, where I'm scheduling out posts and managing client social media accounts. So I use a tool called Metrical. You can use others, but I use Metrical. It pretty much allows you to schedule out posts on accounts in advance, so you don't have to manually post. I can put in the details for a post and say I want to post this tomorrow at 7 p.m. Then tomorrow at 7 p.m. the post will automatically go out to the platform and to the account. And for me, it's $58 a month, but it lets me manage up to 15 accounts and I can, do team access. It's pretty useful for me. But again, if you're starting out, not something that I think you need. What I did was again, this metrical isn't something that I didn't use until a couple months prior, or a couple months back. But when you're just starting out, what you can do is you can have, you know, your contractor or your freelancer, you can give them the client's, access credentials, and then they could be the ones who post it manually. So it's not something that you'd have to worry about or something that you'd have to do. But for me, I'm at a point where I want my freelancers to have as many clients as they can handle. So I give them access to the scheduling tool, and they can just schedule out the posts. So for them, they don't have to worry about, posting it out at this time. They could just schedule it. They could spend that time, doing the content work and other things. So for me, that's something that I use because I felt like I needed it. But again, when you're starting out, not something you need. So literally, you don't need any money to start other than the funds to buy Upwork Connects. So on Upwork, it's $45 for 300 connects. Each job costs around 4 to 16 connects to apply to. And for me, I spend around like that. Those 300 connects last me for like a month. Maybe at most, I'll buy that 300 connects twice. But when you're starting out, you want to be applying to jobs a lot more than me. The reason why I'm not spending as many connects is because I'm not applying to as many jobs as I used to, because I don't need to. But when you're starting out, I would say at least, $45 a week. So 300 connects a week, you want to go through that. And you'll find if you're doing outreach every single day, those connects will disappear pretty quickly. So you might want to spend more, but I would say at least 300 connects a week. So $45 a week is $180 a month. Don't worry about a website. Don't worry about your logo. Don't worry about your business name. Don't worry about all of that stuff. Create your account. Create your portfolio. I made completely free. I came up with, my cover letter. I came up with my description, my bio, my portfolio, and the content examples that I used for my portfolio. Created that myself. I did pay for somebody to create like an intro video for me on Fiverr. So I went on Fiverr and paid somebody like a couple $100 to create like a really nice intro video that kind of looks cool, that kind of portrays or tells people I'm a social media manager, in a very cool way. But I mean, you don't have to do that. You can do it yourself, or you can just pay for somebody else to do it, but it's just a one-time fee. Contract, invoice, professional email, the scheduling tool, and then Upwork. So the first four, again, if you're starting out, you don't even need. All you need is Upwork to pay for Upwork Connects. And when you're starting out, I would say at least 180 to 360 per month is a good healthy number. So that's something that you should expect to pay when you're starting. And you don't need anything else. Don't worry about all these other costs. And honestly, that isn't bad. To run your own business, to run your own agency, 180 to 360 a month, you can sign one client and that'll pay for that entire thing. Just one client to pay for all your connects plus more. So yeah, hopefully that was able to give some insight to some people. And then I'll be back tomorrow with a new video.